day 3.
We had Doomsday 1. He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix. Most of his friends were even divorced. Praying for his safety and got people on the defense talking about it. You better get your ass to the ball. You better get to the ball. I just gotta say, when it comes to former Dallas,
Different.
For sure, and they would have thrown it off because
this guy gets off you.
Father from and then I go to bed every night like G man, I promise you that we got a special. What is up, Cowboys Nation? Boy, Mike Tag here. Kelly K9. He's been in Twitter jail. If you guys are watching us on X rolling in, I said, here's your chance to see him. If you missed him, here's your chance to see him. It's the Twitter world's not the same without you, Kelly. I'm just gonna be honest.
Well, I got a tentative release date of tomorrow. So tomorrow at I think 9:30 a.m. they're gonna let your boy Elon's gonna let me go and take the cuffs off your boy and I'll be back, man. I left Twitter for like a weekend. I feel like everything just went to shit. It was, training camp was going good. The vibes were good. And now there's like this dark shadow over Cowboys Nation. And you got Cowboys content creators going at each other's throats. And just, it's just one thing after another, man. It's just crazy.
It is crazy. See, even I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, no, it's crazy. You missed anyone who missed the Twitter, not the Twitter war, but it turned into a YouTube war with content creators. It was probably and I talked about it a little bit, probably one of the most entertaining days. And a Sunday, I got stuck watching it. So I was making a joke as Kelly, you and I got to find some beef with someone because that shit was fun. I don't know if they're 100% serious. I don't know a fight. I don't know what's going to happen. We offered. Cuts offered to make some paddles and we can, just settle it, in the squared circle of the Cowboys Cave tailgate party. We can all go around, make sure everything's fair. I don't know, but it definitely was entertaining.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It was entertaining. I think, if they both showed up to the tailgate, then, we might not have to worry about paddles or anything. It might just get duked out and settled right there. It's going to be like Friday. It's going to say, what happened to fighting like a man? He's like, you live to fight another day. And,
so I got to ask you too with everything. So you and I, we've talked. I've tried to be a little bit of a mentor to you. I said, Kelly, you got a brand. You're bigger than, don't let things get bigger than the brand that you have. So I've never been suspended on X or any of these social media platforms. So give the audience. So what happens? You said something that I guess must have got flagged.
Well, so here's the thing is that Elon needs to get something better in terms of like, because it's done automatic and I feel like it's not done by real people. It's done by bots. Like AI is a lot of it, because here's the thing, like I have said some terrible shit to people on Twitter. I've talked about their moms. I've talked about their sexual proclivities. I have done, you name it, I've done it. And I've said it to Eagles fans or just the haters, trolls in general. And this was not even a troll. It was at a friend. It was a Margarita Mary, spicy Margarita Mary. Mary she's come to the tailgate plenty of times, and she had posted something about Jerry and was like, this team right now, and it was a gif of a guy drinking bleach, and I said, if you're gonna do it, do the lemon flavored bleach for added flavor, and almost instantly after that tweet was sent, like within 2 minutes after it was sent, I get a deal that pops up and I was going back and forth with this guy, and I think a Cowboys fan or an Eagles fan. I think it was actually a Cowboys fan that I might have been going back and forth with, some friendly fire. Anyway, I'm going back and forth with this guy, and we're talking like heavy shit to each other. Like he's calling me like, sexual slurs. And I mean, I'm talking about his mama being a trailer park and best part of him went down the crack, all that good stuff. And then I get suspended. I'm thinking, oh shit, man, I knew this dude was going to report me. You know what I mean? And next thing I know, I read the tweet and I'm like, what? Out of all the stuff that I say, that's what I get suspended for. So yeah, I tried to appeal it, but it's crazy because the appeal process takes as long as the suspension. So you can appeal it, but it's 5 to 7 days. The suspension was 7 days, and well, you can see where we're at right now. So
do they give you? Do you have like a 3-strike policy with them, or is there anything where you could? Because I forget who. I don't know if it was MC one time who she lost like everything. I don't know if it was.
Yeah. So there's a deal. So what she did is she opened up some type of a case and went to appeal the process, and it locked her out like permanently, and she never got her account reinstored. But that was before Elon Musk. When Elon Musk came back, he restored all kinds of accounts, because I don't know if you know that dude Henry, who's got like eight damn Twitter accounts to troll people because he's relentless with it. He got all of his accounts restored. So now to like get completely banned, I don't know how that works, but I've not gotten any warnings saying, to watch my back, or, hey, this, you get one more deal. And honestly, listen, when it comes to the smack talk, I know what they look for. And so I've gotten smart about it. And, certain words, if you spell them not the way that they're supposed to be spelled, maybe throw a letter in there and get creative with it, they can't pick up on that. You know what I mean? So I've gotten pretty smart about not getting suspended. I hadn't been suspended in quite a while, but who would I did not for a minute think. I mean, it was a joke. I put laughing emojis after it. Like, I did not mean it. And it said that I was enticing and encouraging self-harm, which obviously if you're trying to tell somebody to drink lemon flavored bleach, then you would be, but it was a joke. It was a joke, and it wasn't meant in that. And it was sent to somebody that I like and all that. So yeah, pretty stupid, but I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be back on my best behavior. You can have your Scouts honor. Scouts honor.
It's not the same.
You guys.
Everything. I mean, I just have this weird feeling. We're going to get into it. I mean, maybe Micah Parsons gets signed tomorrow. Maybe the everything comes together. But if not, the war. Life goes on in Cowboys Cave Land and Cowboys Nation, and we've got our Cowboys Cave tailgate party. We've talked about it. It is week 4 against Green Bay. We got the paddles. You see them in the upper corners. You guys can get them from Cuts. You get a special message you could put on one half. You got Cowboys Cave on the other. They'll be there at the tailgate. We get everyone signing them. It's just a great time, a great event. You see some of the pictures. We got tailgate of the day. We had a whole bunch of stuff coming in. My man got Whataburger, so that made Kelly happy. I mean, he was just happy.
Absolutely.
You might have been able to get 2 of them, but it was a great time. So again, can't stress it enough. If you guys are in the DFW area, you're planning on going to the game, or if you're not, we're going to be there partying it up. You can hang out. They're going to have TVs. You can watch the game there. And then I'm going inside. I know Kelly's going inside. You guys, we'll come back out for the victory celebration when all is done. But definitely, you guys, hope to see you there. Just let us know. I know people have asked, do we need to bring money? We accept donations, and that's what the Cowboys Cave paddle is. All the proceeds go to that. So if you say, I want to donate $40, well, go get yourself a paddle. That way you get something in return. If not, you can bring a couple bucks to help with food and drink and all that. But that's pretty much it. If you don't, you're still welcome. I mean, we don't know who's treating and who's not. So we just love seeing everyone there. So definitely check it out. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely, man. And we never want anybody to feel like they're obligated. You know what I mean? I know not everybody's, finances are the same, and coming down to Dallas, especially if you're traveling from out of town, I know that can cost a lot of money, getting room and board and paying for a plane ticket or gas to drive or whatever like that. So if you can't afford to nobody's going to judge you, man. You show up, everybody's welcome. I mean, I can't remember how many people we had go through the tailgate last year. And I mean, I would have to guess that there was some that didn't donate, but nobody was sitting there going, hey, this dude didn't chip in on that. You know what I mean? So it's no big deal, but it's a good time. So everybody needs to come out.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's a way to kick the season off. I know it's going to be week 4, but looking at the schedule, I mean, we should at worst be 2-1, could be 3-0, but we'll get into that later. We don't want to go too heavy on this, but I'd be remiss to talk about it. Let me find it. See, I got to do better naming my stuff. This is what happens when you mess around and you jump on about a minute before we get started. I'm not prepared, so I apologize. My daughter's getting ready for college, so it's just, we're doing all these different things. This is our last Wednesday in the house, so we had our last ice cream day in the house. You know what I'm saying? So every day we got a theme and see what happens. Tomorrow night we're going out to dinner for her last dinner, living here until she's off to college. But Micah Parsons, I wanted to play something and get your opinion. So a lot has been going on. And Kelly, you've been in Twitter jail. So, I mean, you haven't been able to see a lot of the social media stuff unless you got a burner. Maybe you're sneaking up and creeping up on people. But
I think I'm pretty sure that Elon got rid of my burner too. So I decided I'm not going to make a new one. I'm just going to stick to my suspension. But yeah, I've missed a lot.
Okay. Well, you've had the Micah Parsons, you've had Jerry coming out, which you heard, we've talked about it, and then Mike has come back, players have defended him, fans have started the chants, and I'm on the side of Jerry, you kind of created this mess from the start, the way you've handled the whole thing. But some people have come to Jerry's defense and said, you know what? Micah had a deal. Jerry, they had this deal. So I just want to play a clip. Hopefully you guys can hear it. If you do in the chat, give a thumbs up. Kelly said he could, but let me play it. Let's see here. Well, maybe it's not playing. What's going on? See, this is what happens in live TV, Kelly. Now it doesn't want to play. Damn it. I hate it. All right, give me a second. Let me get it reset. But give your thoughts initially on the Parsons things while I get it fixed. Go ahead.
I just think it's turning out to be a tough negotiation. I mean, you've got Dak, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and then you've got Parsons, who's going to be the highest non-paid. So you're going to have two players that are the highest paid at their positions. You already got, CeeDee Lamb that was made that. Anytime that you're talking about paying somebody that kind of money, negotiations can get sideways, and unfortunately they've gotten sideways a little bit, and it's all a part of the NFL though, man. I mean, Jerry doesn't do himself any favors by the way he handles contract negotiations. Parsons has basically that phrase that I've used several times when I talk about the Texas Tech not too fun when the rabbit got the gun. Parsons just kind of turned the tables on Jerry, man. Jerry, Dak stayed quiet when Jerry threw a couple of, threw some little bit of shade towards Dak Prescott's way, because he did, and did the same towards CeeDee Lamb. And now when he did that towards Micah, well, Micah kind of turned the tables, like, you know what? You want to do it? Let's air it out. Let's go ahead and air it out. And listen, I'm gonna side with the player every time, man. Like I don't understand how people are gonna side with Jerry Jones, and I don't see how anybody would even want to side with Jerry Jones. Listen, the one constant amongst this team that I saw that I did see a tweet that you posted the other day that got a couple thousand likes when you said maybe there's deeper reasons than Dak and Romo, because their stats were so similar. You put them side by side, now similar to them. That maybe it's not them. Look, I don't think it is. I really don't. I think you can't tell me that when you treat people like this, and this is how you treat people in a contract negotiation, you can't tell me that there is not going to be any lingering resentment. Everybody said that one time when he said Zeke who, they're like, oh no, look, Zeke got his deal and he went out and but did he? Did Zeke ever play? I mean, and I'm not calling him out and saying he did. I have no proof that he didn't. But do we think that Zeke maybe in some of those games decided, you know what, I'm feeling a little banged up. I'm gonna pull myself out this down. Do you think maybe he was given 110, 115% to an owner that he thinks slighted him, and he thinks, drug things out too long, maybe disrespected him, said some disrespectful things, the whole Zeke who thing, him talking about Micah Parsons now, like these are things that I believe make players not want to fight for you. And the whole training camp started off great. There's all this great energy, and everybody's talking good about Schottenheimer and, the energy that he's bringing. Everybody, I mean, outside reporters, like, the Cowboys reporters, the players, everybody, the energy is different, right? And now there's this like black cloud hanging over Cowboys training camp because it's the Micah Parsons thing and the Jerry Jones saga and the drama. And it's just like, we can never get through off season without some kind of drama. And Jerry Jones wants to talk about it's a soap opera, 24/7, 365. It's only like that because you make it like that, man. It doesn't have to be. Just shut your damn mouth and do these things behind closed doors, man. Not everything needs to be aired in the media.
That's my biggest problem with it. And I could, I'm a fan of the team. I'm a fan of the Stars. So if they traded him last year, they said, you know what, we just, there's only so much money to go around. We're not going to be able to keep everybody. This is a decision we made. I could deal with it. I really could. I mean, I would, if you're being upfront, it's the way that everything is handled. And I just wanted to put this out there. And if it happens, I want to make sure that I get full credit. And I should get a piece of the action because you reminded me of something with the whole Zeke thing. What was the first thing that they did when he signed? What ended up in that shop? What ended up in the pro shop?
Yeah, they had a Zeke Who t-shirt.
Zeke Who, that's who, right? Or something like that. I bought one. I got suckered into it. What am I doing? I bought the Walmart version, though. Mine was much cheaper. And I see the super chat, so I'm definitely going to get to him because I appreciate it. That help him for the cave. But this is the thing. Jerry, I'm going to go back and I want to give at least some credit to AOC because he did his homework and research and he talked a little bit about it today. And if you go back to some of the tweets that Parsons had, he said, I don't need to be the highest paid player. I want to be able to have a contract structure where we can bring in more talent. I know it takes more than me to get it done. So I don't need to be that. And then he was saying how Dak stand up. He played out. He didn't do any. He came and practiced. He was talking about everything about Dak Prescott. So all of that was good. Then you fast forward into December, another tweet talking about it, not needing to be the highest paid. Then you have, this is where it gets a little muddy between, and Jane Slater as well. She talked about it. There was supposedly a conversation between Micah and Jerry, and there was an agreement. And there was a handshake agreement in Jerry's eyes, and he felt they had the number. He didn't give the number. He said we'd be all surprised that the number is a big number. And it seems that Parsons, obviously getting with his counsel, backed away from it a little bit. Maybe is all I can think. I don't know. I'm speculating at this point on. But it's just kind of odd. So some people are siding with Jerry, and that's what I tried to play the video, so I apologize, but you can go on Instagram, it was on Fox News and all that. He's talking about a handshake. He bought the Cowboys on a handshake agreement. That's the way old school business is done. He's a man of his word. Parsons gave him his word. So now it's gotten to be ego versus pride. You got Jerry's ego, you got Parsons' pride. And Parsons is coming out saying stuff too. So it's like, where do you fall in line? But this is where I'm going to say, I want a piece of it because when he signs, bet your damn ass in that pro shop, there's going to be a t-shirt with Parsons and Jerry, and it's going to have something to do with a handshake. It's got a handshake deal. There's going to be something that they're going to spin that into making some money, if you know what I'm saying, Kelly, but all kidding aside, what do you think of that part? Is there a part of you that would side with Jerry on that in any form or fashion? Or are you guys in the chat?
Not me personally, because it's not 1942. And Jerry, you listen, back in the day when you bought your, 5 acres and a mule, you might have done that on a handshake deal. Back in 1980s, maybe it was a handshake deal. It's fucking 2025, Jerry. Don't nobody negotiate without their agent. And even if him and Parsons had come to what Parsons said, hey, this sounds good. Jerry said, and then we iron out the details later. You can't do that in contract negotiation. You can't do that in an NFL contract that you're talking about making him one of the highest paid players in the NFL, the non-quarterback. And I understand what Parsons has said. Dak Prescott said the same shit. he was talking about how, being the highest paid player, that's not really what it's all about, and blah, 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 blah.
He's
It's
still
all a
saying
bunch of,
money doesn't matter at this point, but he's
it's all a
making
bunch of lip service. But here's the thing. If Jerry was smart, then he'd have done this deal early already, like every one of these other teams did with all these draft picks from the Michael Parsons draft, the Jamar Chase that got signed early, like all the dudes that were in that same draft class that got signed early. They would have done it back then. They could have done this shit last year. They could have done it before all these. Now, listen, the thing that I don't know about is, okay, does Micah Parsons, did his agent give his advice and say, listen, we want to wait till all these other pass rushers sign so that you can come in over the top, and because this is the money that we know we can get you, and this is what you should settle for? Is that what they did? Is that what they did? I don't know, because I can't go behind the closed doors and I can't really find out. But I have to believe that as an owner, that Jerry's got to have more sense than to think you can't do handshake deals in the NFL. He can't. He's not that dumb. He's not that dumb.
I think it's against the NFL rules to
negotiate without an agent. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I think there's could be a fine ahead for them. But let's give a quick shout out too before on our super chats, man. The Lunatic, thank you. Let's go, Cowboys Nation. Pay Micah, F Philly, and DC for life. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with anything you said there. I got to agree with that 100%. And then Chris, evening, boys, I hate to say it, but Jerry has slowly turned into Al Davis. I mean, we've talked about that, where the majority of the fan base has turned on him. And that's the thing that you're seeing is the fan base, at least in training camp, social media, it has kind of turned on Jerry. He's and look at you're pacing. You're so upset. Calm down, Kelly. I don't want you to get upset. But I know Kelly's doing double duty for you guys who don't know. But so he's working it, but he can hear what I'm saying. But you guys in the chat too are you getting tired of the drama that Jerry always brings, or I mean, are you siding with him? Because it just seems like unnecessary drama, and I'm not a drama guy, and this is killing me.
Yeah, I think it all is. It is unnecessary drama that Jerry's bringing upon himself, and like I said, I keep saying that Jerry Jones is the one that's talking about it's a soap opera 24/7, 365. Again, it doesn't have to be that though, Jerry. You're the one that's making it that way. No other owner is out here saying that about their franchise. And why? Because it's not good for business. That's not what you want. You don't want to have that. You don't want to have people out here going, yeah, it's a soap opera 365. No, that's not what you want. You don't want a soap opera. Do soap operas win NFL Super Bowls? Do they win titles? No, soap operas don't. Soap operas are the Cleveland Browns. Soap operas are the New York Giants going on a boat trip and then getting eliminated and bounced in the first round of the playoffs, and then have been a complete joke since then. Like, soap operas are for bad run teams. The only thing that's different between the Cowboys and those teams is that the Cowboys are just slightly good enough to win in that regular season, get you to the playoffs, but then get bounced in the first round every year. But yet Jerry keeps them relevant because the media is talking about them, which creates revenue for Jerry. And at the end of the day, that really seems to only be the only thing that he cares about. And it's discouraging because there's really not a damn thing that any one of us can do about it. But I mean, you can't convince me otherwise. That's all Jerry cares about. Cares about staying in the news, selling merch, being on all the headlines, because why else? What other reason would he have to be doing this? There's not a GM in the entire NFL right now that would not give Micah Parsons what he's asking for. 31 other teams, all 31 other GMs would give Micah Parsons today whatever it is his agent's asking for. And Jerry is the only one that wants to drag this thing out, drag Parsons through the mud, drag this into a war and create this whole, but him versus Parsons deal. It's dumb. It's dumb. And you can't tell me it's not creating a divide in the locker room either.
You're seeing it. You're seeing it with them. So we'll leave it at this because we don't want to beat. Enough of the Parsons. Gut feeling, you guys in the chat, and you, Kelly. Does he come week one, which is what, 3.5 weeks away, right?
Yeah,
4 weeks from from Thursday, maybe. Is Parsons suited up and lining up against Philly week 1? Yes or no?
So I said that I think Parsons is going to get his contract, and I still believe Parsons is going to get his contract. And yeah, I at this point I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that he is, because here's my thing with Parsons. I don't think he needs preseason. I do think he needs some practice, and he needs to get in condition, and he needs to get on the same page with Eberflus. But if they can get it done, week before, and it gets practice leading up to the game, I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say Jerry knows the importance of starting this season hot and starting off on the right foot and continuity amongst his defense. So I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, everyone says yes except our Eagle Carl. And Carl, I saw earlier that you are invited to the cave. You can go to the tailgate. Absolutely. We've had fans of other teams there. And the only thing I always say is, when you're there as the opposing fan, you be respectful. We had a Jets guy, very respectful. We had some Ravens there, respectful. Because if you get out of line, I mean, I can't, I ain't stopping nobody. That's just the way it goes. So, I mean, but if you're there to have a good time, a good old fashioned smack talk, we're all for it, man. We could take it as long as, if you dish it out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know right now, Carl, though, if all you're sitting there doing is talking about how long it's been since we won, and you're just harping that the whole time you're at the tailgate, probably after about 12 Miller Lights, I might shotgun you like one of them goddamn beers. I'm just to be honest, man. You ain't gonna want to be talking like that, or you ain't gonna want to talking slick around me after I've had about 12 Miller Lights. I don't know how much of that shit I could take, man. I can take some.
We have our chief of security, Mark, there. He said he'd escort people out.
Yeah, see, I'd tell Mark, I'd be like, get him out. But no, Carl, look, in all good and fun, man. We know you come in here and you have a good time. And hey, look, it's all a part of it, smack talk and stuff. And we come out there to the tailgate. It's all about having a good thing, good time, and all that.
Yeah. So we had the practice, and those who don't know, there's a little group chat between Kelly and I, and Cuts and Mark and Shady, and some of it's funny, some of it is we actually do talk serious stuff. And there was a lot of video, a lot of talk about the Cowboys struggling on defense in a scrimmage. Now, to put it in perspective, listening to Shoddy today, they ran 2 coverages. That's all they ran. That's it. It was 2 coverages is all they ran. They didn't do anything crazy. It was more just playing very vanilla. They do not want to show their hands in anything. And that's what Shoddy said. The advantage of being a new head coach is nobody has tape on you. No one knows your true tendencies because you were an assistant or you this. So he said things are very basic. Now, he did say some things that are normal in your first kind of scrimmage or preseason game. Pad level was high. They did get pushed off the ball on both sides. Our offensive line got pushed back. Defense got pushed back on their side. Said nothing that was overly concerning. He said that they gave up a couple big plays, which that is not what the defense is built on. And that's when he came back and said, guys, we've ran 2 coverages, so pump the brakes on that. Did not get a turnover that, this team is going to be built on turnovers. That was an emphasis. So there was a couple things that he said, but then there's some other things that, he felt good about. He thought Booker played well. He thought Nate played well, the offensive line. Dak, you saw some touchdowns with Turpin. You saw CD. You saw Pickens. It looks like this team is offensively passing the ball. They're going to be doing it. Running, there was some struggle here and there. But I don't know. I don't watch it. And I don't know if you do, Kelly, but and I'm only repeating what he said. He said, guys, it was 23-21. We had the ball last, and we went right down the field and scored. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad, or if you take little clips can make a whole big thing. But I mean, overall thought of it, and is this something? Are you expecting this defense to struggle early in the season?
So I don't want to put too much. I don't want to put too much in too much stock in one joint practice, because you're right. It was vanilla on both sides. If you're looking for the positives, though, because I feel like it's an indicator, though, right? A little bit of an indicator, because I think it kind of gives you a glimpse, right, of some of the things you may or may not see. Because remember, one of the things that I said, I think it was last week, is I said what I'm looking for in that joint practice is one, because we've been hearing about Eazy-E, getting shot out of a cannon. I said, I want to know, is he that good, or is our offensive line struggling that much? Well, from what I heard, Jared Verse had his way with our offensive line. No matter who he lined up with, they could not stop him. Jared Verse was an unstoppable force, and he's great. He's great, but listen, we're going to go up with a lot of some great pass rushers. We got Jalen Carter week 1, and he's a great pass rusher too. So coming up the middle, run stopper, but also creating havoc in the middle of that, collapsing that pocket, right? So that was something I wanted to see. So I was a little bit discouraged by the offensive line's performance early on. Now, granted, this is a new scheme, still gelling, still very, very early, but still piqued my interest. Red flag for me, just because, hey, we kind of got bullied around, right? The defensive line, they gave up some big run plays. They gave up a couple big run plays. Kyron Williams is one of them, where he went for, I believe he scored a touchdown on that run. It was a long play.
He gave a piece, which I don't like.
Yeah,
seeing.
So watching, our defensive guys, tackles getting pushed off the line, also again is a weakness, a little bit of a red flag. Bing, bing, bing. And then running, not much on the ground game. I think the biggest play was by Javonte Williams. It was a nice play, running up the gut, pushed a couple guys, carried a couple guys. Looks like he's got the power back, because that kind of looked like a little bit reminiscent of one of his runs as it was a rookie.
Yeah.
But the 3 areas that I thought that we needed improvement on and that we might struggle: run game, defensive line, and then the offensive line, they're all of those kind of reared their heads in that joint practice. So do I think that those are problems that are fixable? Maybe, but still a concern.
Yeah, and the hard thing is on the scrimmages, like you're watching it from afar, like who's in the game, who's doing all these different, so it's really hard. That's why I don't want to put a lot into it. I will be interested. We got a guest. We got a guest. Does she have anything to say about the Eagles or no? Anything you want to say about the Eagles, our week 1 opponent?
What are we going to do to the Eagles? Huh? What are we going to do? Huh? We're going to tell them what we're going to do?
Oh,
no?
Tell me
Camera shy today? Camera shy today.
But I'm just saying it'll be curious to see how it goes to me in the preseason game. You're not going to see a lot of starters. The starters are not playing pretty much in most of the preseason games. So that's not going to give you a telltale sign. Shotty's already said they're going to be very vanilla, but you want to see those matchups. Like to your point, Kelly, you don't want to see your team getting bullied around. You want to see the run game establishing some sort of dominance, some sort of play. I don't think there's any question, and just from everything I've seen, that we got a passing game. I mean, Dak Prescott,
for sure.
And these receivers and Turpin and everything we've got going on, we are going to be able to put some points on the board through the air. The question is this put all the pressure back on Dak because we're just not believing in this defense? And here we go again, same old story that we've been. It's kind of recycled every single year for the past, I don't know how many years. As Dak goes, the team goes.
They're going to have to outscore teams is what it kind of seems like early on, and they're going to probably have to do that in the pass game. Now, things can change. And Carl, if you double CD, then you're Pickens one-on-one. You can't double. She said double CD, game over. I don't think you've watched George Pickens, because I hope you do double CD and let Pickens just eat. So listen, there's nobody that's going to be able to stop our passing game. Nobody. I mean, nobody. I'm telling you right now, Dak is going to have a 5,000-yard season. I think he's going for 5,000 yards. He's going to put up MVP numbers. Honestly, he will put up.
Would you say
it's not? It's not. Yeah, it's not, because I don't think it's really conducive to going deep in the playoffs. But here's the thing: if this defense struggles, if the run game struggles, they're going to lean on the pass game, and teams are going to have to pick their poison. You ain't gonna be able to double CD and get away with it. I mean, that's if you do that, then that's just career suicide, because Pickens will eat you alive one-on-one. And if you double Pickens, CeeDee Lamb's going to eat you up. And even if you somehow double Lamb and you've got Pickens and you've got him guard, then you've got Ferguson over the middle, and you've got Turpin. And Turpin's been doing. Listen, I mean, you know what? I will say this though. I saw the first initial. They said don't take too much out of it, but I saw the first initial depth chart come out today. Tolbert's the 3, but here's what's interesting is that they got Tolbert and Turpin is the 3. It says Turpin and it says Tolbert or Turpin. So they basically got them kind of tied in as the 3s, 3, 4, and Mingo listed maybe as the 5th, I believe, is where they kind of had him on the initial depth chart, which I mean, not terrible, but you know.
No, I mean, I think you've just got a lot of weapons. I mean, they could end up going 5 wide if they wanted to. They could do it. I didn't hear much about Osa either. And sometimes I'll be honest with you, on a defensive tackle, hearing nothing's usually a good sign, but I don't know. I'll be straight with you, Kurt. I didn't really hear much on Osa, but I mean, he's going to be one of the better defensive tackles. Now, he's not known to be the run stuffer. He's more that guy that's going to, get the quarterback. But I mean, did you hear anything on the scrimmage with Osa? I didn't really hear anything. So
I didn't really hear anything with him. I mean, I did see that him and Mozzie are going to be your 2 interior guys. The starters. Which
Mozzie's
is
got hurt. But what about our guy who's bounced around? He's getting and Greg
Solomon Thomas.
No.
Jay Tafoya.
No, he looked good. God dog it. I wish I could see. Perrion Winfrey. He was the guy that kind of went around. He was in Birmingham. The training camp stars so far, he's number 1 on the list, defensive tackle. He's looked really good. Easy E's looked good. You had Leah Fowl, and then obviously Elam. Those have been the 4 kind of standouts early so far in training camp. Pass
rushers are going to be pretty deep. They got Easy E listed as like the 4th pass rusher on that.
I could see that because you got Parsons, you got Fowler, you got Sam Williams. I mean, don't sleep on Nealon either. Now, I think Nealon could kind of turn into that our DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, maybe not, obviously not as brash and not as vocal. At least I don't see him being that. And from what I've seen, but he's one of those guys that you could put a defensive tackle on some plays to help out, and he can also rush the passer. So I think he's kind of that body and that style that he may be that tank, that we lost.
Yeah. Nealand is definitely a guy that I'm going to look for. And then, the coaching staff keeps speaking really highly of, Sam Williams, how motivated he is to come back and prove himself. So they've got a lot of pass rushers in this defensive arsenal that they're putting together. And, right now they're all getting a lot of opportunities because Micah Parsons is, not practicing. So all these guys, these extras are getting more time, whether that be, our rookie and Easy, or whether that be Sam Williams or Nealon, all those guys are getting the time that they need to kind of to press forward. So, like I said, obviously with the joint practices that they've been having and this, scrimmage, whatnot, you're about to play the Rams in preseason. So obviously you don't want to do too much, right? You don't want to, like you said, he's keeping it kind of vanilla. He doesn't want to tip his hand too much. And I don't even think in the preseason they'll really tip their hands too much.
No, he said the whole preseason, he said, do not expect. He said even in the scrimmage, they had no deep balls. Now, he said he threw one because he was mad. And he's like, he called it deep ball, but he had no plans of throwing any deep passes. Everything was going to be very basic. And I think you're going to see that a lot in the preseason.
Have they said, is Dak playing?
No. They haven't said it, but they gave all indications that no one of importance is going to be playing in preseason.
Yeah, I didn't think he probably would, but honestly, what point does it serve? And the thing is too, man, is that, I kind of worried about out of jail. Yes, sir. Well, for now. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good that they got Dak and Dak and Pickens got on the same page so early, because it only took a few practices before those guys really started clicking. And now that, in that joint practice, that's one thing that could not be ignored, was that Lamb and Pickens were just, they were on fire. The Rams had no answer for them dudes, none. So I definitely like that, what I'm seeing with them. And I also like the fact that Turpin's getting in the mix with some of these plays where he gets loose, man. And he, the fact that they're involving him in this offense a lot more is exciting, because, like Shadi said, the playmaker, man. He's a playmaker. Yeah. You got to find ways to get him the ball, whether that's out of the backfield, little screens, deep passes, whatever that may be. Find a way to get him the ball as much as you can, and it's working out for him good so far.
Yeah, and the Rams are legit. Now the problem's going to be Stafford, if what I read was correct, with some injury issues. I think it was back or something he's dealing with. That could be a problem. But the Packers or the Rams were a snowstorm at the wrong time away from winning in the playoffs, because they had all the momentum, and then all of a sudden there went the snow, and it basically sabotaged everything they had. Last thing I'd say on Dak, and I posted this. You've been in jail, but I posted this. Saw this picture, and it was Romo and Dak, and it was a comparison of their careers. And I just posted it innocently, and I said, maybe the problems with the Cowboys are bigger than them. And it's so people must love it. It's got up to 200,000 views and a shit ton of comments, good and bad, 3,000 likes or whatever. But when you look, I'm reading their stats. I mean, very similar in every aspect of the game. And at what point, you see it with Romo, you see it with Dak, and they carry the burden. And I remember when Tony was playing, he carried the burden and he got a lot of the criticism. And then when he kind of went away, it was kind of the love fest of Tony Romo. You know what I mean? It was almost like with Kobe Bryant in a way. When Kobe Bryant, a lot of people didn't like Kobe Bryant, but then when he left the game, everyone just, couldn't get enough of Kobe Bryant. I'm not comparing them. I'm just using an analogy. And I think Dak is kind of going through that now, where there is just a ton of Dak hate. And if you say one decent thing about Dak, then they call you a what is it, Dak lover? Is that what you are? Something like that. There's got to be a balance.
I got all kinds of damn names. I don't.
Be a balance. So I'm very sensitive when they call players, chokers, and he choked the game away. And I got into it with a few people, and one of the comments that I fired back at someone's, oh, Dak choked. He's choked. Romo choked the game. And I'm thinking, well, Patrick Creighton had a ball like in his hands, and he was going to the house. Cowboys would have won the game. They'd be in the NFC Championship game, and Creighton dropped it. I mean, it's clear as day, dropped it. 100% on him. So does that make Romo a choke artist? Then you go back to Dak's time, and you go to the Green Bay game the first time. He charges back. Anyone there, anyone at home, 1,000% knew when this game goes to overtime, Dallas is winning. They had all the momentum. Momentum was lost. Green Bay was at a 3rd and 19. They give up a 3rd and 19. They kick the field goal and win the game. Is that really on? Did Dak choke that game away? So that's what I'm saying. And then you look at the rushing yards that we've had in playoffs, the rushing yards against. And what I'm trying to just say is it's bigger. Winning Super Bowls is bigger than one guy. As good as Patrick Mahomes is, and I mean, we got a huge Patrick Mahomes fan sitting right here in the cave. If my memory's right, they didn't score a point in a Super Bowl first half. And then they came back and charged back, and the game was close, and they end up winning. I'm just saying, guys, we can't put all the pressure on one player. It takes a team to win. The Philadelphia Eagles showed it last year. They were balanced on offense, balanced on defense. They had an average quarterback, and they win the Super Bowl. I mean, you've got to have a team. And I just think all these guys that just put all this pressure on one guy, I think they're missing it. I think they're just looking for the scapegoat. But that's my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
Quarterback's always going to be the quarterback will always be the easiest target because he's the main player of the team. You know what I mean? He gets all the credit when they win, gets all the love, gets the MVPs. If you think about it, MVPs went to a quarterback. I mean, how many years in a row now? I mean, I don't even know why they even have the MVP anymore. They should just call it, most valuable quarterback because
the Phillies defense, Jalen Carter or one of them should have got the MVP if they're being
real. Exactly. In the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts was not MVP caliber. There was other guys on that team, and it should have went to the defense on the defensive side of the ball. But even throughout the season, though, when you look at the seasons, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Saquon Barkley should have won the MVP.
Should have been the MVP
in my opinion. And it's always a quarterback, and it's like, why? What are we even doing here in terms of that? But that's why. Because them quarterback, it's the quarterback. The quarterback gets all the love, all the blame, fair or unfair. I mean, you got fans still that put that damn Green Bay game on Dak Prescott. Yeah, he had a bad first half, but when they came thundering back in the second half and ended up with 30-some points, the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. And when we got that game to within a touchdown, which was I would have never thought that game would have got that close. When it got to within a touchdown and it became all of a sudden a winnable game, what did the defense do? Boom. Allowed a touchdown, right? Green Bay goes right down the field like on a 10, 11 play drive, just demoralizing type shit. That's not Dak Prescott. That's not Dak Prescott because he was answering every single drive. Yeah, he got out to a slow start, but at some point, you got to expect your defense to be able to hold somebody. You got to expect your defense to get stops. It's no different than when you watch teams in the NBA and they come back from these huge deficits, 25, 30 points down. But what it takes, one stop at a time. Let the defense get stops. Offense score, defense stop, offense score. It's the same, it's the same mentality. Obviously, basketball, football, different, but it's the same mentality. If your defense can get stops and keep you in the game to where they're not allowing the opposing offense to score every single time, because if I remember right, I don't think that Green Bay, I don't remember that we got any stops. I think maybe they only punted the ball like one time.
I think the first drive,
and then it was just score. I mean, you can't win like that. You know what I mean? So the fact that people can sit there and point to the quarterback and say that was the issue in that particular game, honestly, is a little bit mind blowing.
He didn't help. All right, he didn't help the situation. He
didn't help it. I mean, and he gave up some points. He threw a pick six, but it's like, look, was Dak a part of the problem? Absolutely, he was a part of the problem. But was he the problem? No, the problem was the defense couldn't stop a damn nosebleed, and they just got completely ran over and ran through. And that was the bigger problem, in my opinion, in that game was the defense. Like, me and you have talked about it countless times. I think really the only game was that low-scoring game against the Niners when Dak Prescott had 2 picks. I said, listen, if he doesn't have 2 interceptions that game, I think that was a winnable game. Cowboys could have won that game. Granted, things didn't go perfect. But
that was the one that hurt.
That was the one where you're kind of like looking and going, Dak, you really got to be better in that spot. But, I mean, look, it is what it is. If this team's going to go deep in the playoffs, they're going to do anything in the playoffs. It's going to take a team effort. We're going to need to get a clutch stop by the defense at some point. You know what I mean? They're going to need, that offensive line to give Dak Prescott a couple extra seconds to make a play. And that's what you're looking for is to see. And then, also what will help too is creativity on offense. If Shoddy is as creative as I think that this offense can be and possibly will be, man, the numbers that they could put up could be tremendous. I mean, I feel like they have the potential. Now, this does hinge on the offensive line still being able to hold blocks and keep these guys off them, but they've got the potential to be the league's number 1 offense, and I really believe that. Just because I think that they have the firepower to do it. They just need to put that offensive line together and make sure that they're able to hold them blocks for Dak to, get them passes. Because if not, well, it'll be a long season for Dak.
No, and they talked about his, the motions, pre-snap, all the stuff. So I think you're going to see a different offense. So looking at Saturday, right? And I've told people, I mean, typically in the preseason we'll do some live streams, we'll have some fun with it. But unfortunately, I'm going to be in Valdosta. I got to drop my daughter.
Yeah, I got a little something going on that Saturday night too. I was looking at it too, and I was like, but you know what? We can set the isn't the next preseason game on a Saturday again?
Yeah, I'll be good. I should be good for the rest of them. I'll be good.
I was gonna say I could probably do the next one.
Yeah, definitely be checking in during this game, and we'll be watching it. What do you guys, even in the chat, love to get your opinions too? Is like, what do you want? What's the watch? I mean, what is your eyes going to be fixated on? Whether it be a specific player, a unit, what is something that you want to keep your eye on? I know for me, it's Milton. Milton's probably going to get a lot of snaps. So I really want to see how he develops, because the one thing that we've had a couple times is you just get, God forbid your quarterback gets hurt, the season's over, because we just don't have a whole lot. So I really want to see the upside that Milton has. That's something I'm really going to pay close attention to.
Yeah, I was thinking. So I think I got four guys that I really want to see I want to see things from. It's Joe Milton at 1, Booker is 2, because I want to see how Tyler Booker's doing. I've heard he's having a little bit of some rookie struggles early on. That he's had some times where he's looked good, but he's also had some adjustments that he's having to make. So I'm looking for that, because we can't afford him to be a Tyler Guyton. We can't afford him to have growing pains. He needs to be a starter, and he needs to be a solid starter day one. So I'm looking for that.
Mingo and Winfrey. And
I would be that's definitely deeper down the roster. Winfrey for sure though could be an impact guy. My other guys though, I'm looking to see if Eazy-E is as good as advertised. I'm looking to see what he can do in live game action. And then Jaden Blue is in there for me. I see that on that one too. Tola, Holden, Milton, and Blue. Blue for sure. So I got two of those guys right there. And then definitely Tuola. We said his name and I keep forgetting it. Tuola, I think is how you say it.
Toya. I think it's
Tuoya. That's right. Yeah, so look for him too, because we need, Mozzie Smith is going to need some help.
Now this is where I'm going to say is that defensive line, because all right, you're not going to have Osa, they're not going to have their best guys either. It's not like, I don't think they're rolling out with their best running backs and their quarterbacks and all that.
Yeah, they probably.
I want to see how these guys stop the run. That is really important. The practice, all right, whatever. But these guys are fighting for jobs, and you're going to be on, you're in the stadium, you're at SoFi, the bright lights and everything. I want to see how they respond and how these guys stop the run. That is critical for me. If they get gashed and we just get annihilated and throw 200 yards rushing, to your point, Kelly, I would be, I'm going to be pretty depressed.
Yeah, not going to be good. Not going to be feeling good. You want to, listen, the thing is that I always tell people in preseason, because and it's not a bad thing, because I'm not sitting there telling you that I can break down all the X's and O's and tell you what formation they're running by looking at it on the TV and say, oh yeah, it's I'm not that detail oriented, but I know enough about the game to understand that when I'm watching preseason, the things that I'm looking for, the things that I want to see, right? I understand those things. And I always tell people this, look, the final score and the outcome of the game means nothing. Like if the Cowboys lose by 20, that means nothing. It's not that. What you're looking for is progress amongst guys who are either rookies or guys that are going to play significant time or looking for significant time, whether that be in a backup role or as a starter role on this offense or defense. And that's what you're looking for, is can these guys make plays? Can these guys be contributors? Can these guys hold their own amongst other NFL backups, because that's basically what it is. It's a battle of backups. Let's face it. It's not going to be starters. I don't think the Rams are going to roll out Stafford. I don't think he's playing. I don't think Kyron Williams will be out there. I don't think Nakua's out there. I think it's going to be a lot of their backups and a lot of our backups. It's going to be 2s against 2s, 3s against 3s, and all that stuff. So that's what you're looking for, is evaluating some of this younger talent and how they can contribute. And, and you should be encouraged by what you see. If you see something good, and you see good stuff, then you say, hey, all right, this is what I wanted to see. So don't pay a lot of attention to the outcome of the game.
Execution is what you want, right? I saw a comment: intensity, execution. I think my man right here, Terminal from probably Virginia, I'm guessing. Unless it's the VA, one or the other. Wide receiver 3 and 4, tightest battles right now. I don't know if it's a tightest battle. It is an intense battle. I think there's some others, secondary. I think we've got some issues there that they're really looking at. I think wide receivers so deep that I think you're splitting hairs between your 3, 4, and 5. I think you've got Tolbert, you've got Mingo, and you've got Turpin. Each one bring a little bit different. That's why I don't know if it's necessarily going to be, all right, Tolbert's your wide receiver 3, because I think in situations, Turpin is going to be your 3. And I think in some situations, Mingo, who's, bigger guy, beefier guy, you could move CD into the slot. You can move guys around. Maybe you're putting Mingo on the outside. I think there's some versatility there that you've got with your receivers. But I think those 5 are pretty much going to be your 5. And I'd love to see how they do, these other guys do in the game as far as at the wide receiver position, for sure.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that, I do. You look at that initial depth chart, and that's kind of what it looks like it's going to be. It looks like those guys I think are set in stone. I don't really see anybody coming up and sneaking any of those spots away. I think obviously your 2, Lamb and Pickens, those are 1 and 2, obviously. But Tolbert is your 3, and then you've got a mixture of Turpin and Mingo kind of bouncing back in that 4th wide receiver spot. And I think those are the 5 guys that primarily you're going to see the most from. Now, there may be one of these guys come on the back end of it that may, sneak in here. They may carry 6. I'm sure they'll carry 6, but I don't know how much time or how much plays you're going to see from one of these guys deeper in the roster. I think for the majority of the season, those 5 receivers named are the guys that you're going to be seeing on the field that will be primarily making the plays for the Cowboys on that offense. And then obviously with tight end, you got Schoonmaker, and you've got Ferguson, who's having a really great camp. And then that what is it? Span Ford. You got him. Who's
interesting with that one. I mean to cut you off. Sorry, because I get excited on tight end is they're talking so much. If you listen to Shoddy, they talk about Hunter Lipke all the time, and they talk about tight end. They're talking about him fullback. They talk about running the ball. So I'm just really curious. Are they? I mean, because I thought he wouldn't. He was one of those guys. I thought him and Vaughn. I figured there's days where
might be gone.
But I'm curious to see how much playing time Lipke gets and what kind of looks he gets, because it seems like they have a plan for him. And I'm curious to see what that plan, folds out to be. But running back is another one. Running back and cornerback are 2 other position units that you guys, if you're watching this game Saturday, it's like Kelly said, don't worry about the score. Focus in on areas that you really want to see something. And running back is one, run defense, and our secondary, especially mainly our cornerbacks, is who is out there going to be making plays. Because we talked about Carson last year, Kelly, and he was that camp guy, right, man? Oh, man, we got our corner. And, man, when he got in there, we got in the bright lights, didn't look so good. So we hear so much of Elam. I want to see Elam. I want to see what these guys do in preseason when given their opportunity. We'll be limited, but when they get any opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the main thing, man. Take these opportunities for these young guys, man, and they got to make the best out of it. For some of these guys that maybe that last ride. But I do like the thought of Hunter Lipke when I saw his college highlights of him coming out, because I didn't know much about him, and I went back and kind of watched some of the highlights of what he does well, and I mean, honestly, he kind of reminds me of Kyle Juszczyk, just because he's a little bit bigger of a guy, but he's also he's not slow. I mean, he's quick for his size. Got that size, got that power. And he can catch the ball. So I mean, they threw him the ball. When he was it North Dakota State that he came from?
Was it North Dakota or South Dakota? I forgot which
South Dakota State, one of those two. But I mean, they threw him the ball. I mean, he caught passes out of the backfield, and he ran the ball in short yardage situations. So, a guy like that, you don't see the Niners, giving Juszczyk a ton of plays. But what's funny is when he does get the opportunities, makes the most of them. It's usually a big play, a conversion for that third down, and a big moment, because everybody else is going to be so keyed on CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, and our receivers, right? Maybe Dak pulling out an RPO game, and then boom, give it to a guy named Lipke or dump it off to Lipke because they're not, So look, if Shoddy, like I said again, if Shoddy can be as innovative as I think he can with this offense, which is what God I've been begging for the longest time, back since before Jason Garrett, because the offenses, listen, we've had very talented offenses that have put up big numbers. The creativity just hasn't been there, though. They've been able to put up those numbers despite the lack of creative play calling, because even when Kellen Moore was doing it, it was predictable, man. It just was. It was predictable. I mean, as a fan of the Cowboys, I should not be able to sit on my couch and know what's coming next. Like, yep, here we go. They're going to run the ball.
Absolutely.
They're running the ball right now, and here we go. Here's going to be a little curl route, boom, there it is. I mean, it was just so predictable, man. And I think with Shoddy, I don't think you're going to see predictability. I think you're going to see a lot of things we ain't seen out of this offense in a long, long, long time.
And you hear a lot of it from CD. CD was talking about it in his, the frustrations he had in the past is like, all right, we're at, or now we're at 2nd and 8. Now we're at 3rd and 7, because it's very predictable.
Yeah.
Instead of being at 3rd and 2, he said everything that you're seeing with Shoddy, the creativity, the motions, everything. This team is, we're going to be fine offensively. The running game is the one thing that I'm going to be really needing. We don't need. We could do running back by committee. We've done it in the past, and that's not a problem. But we've got to be able, when we need to run, we got to be able to run, and we got to run with some power. We got to run with some authority, and we got to break the will of that defense, because what it does too is it chews up that clock. And if our defense isn't, or if our defense is going to be a problem, like some people think, you want them, you want them on the sidelines as long as possible. You don't want them out on the field. So that's the other thing a good running game does. Real quick too, we got over 300 of you guys hanging out in the cave. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're getting closer and closer. Next week, I believe it's going to be next week, we're going to welcome an enemy into the cave. And it's a fun story. I don't want to say the whole thing, but I had to pay a bet back. And I'm going to pay the bet back live in the Cowboys cave. I'm a man of my word, and I want to make sure he knows it and he sees it. So we're gonna have a special guest. It's an enemy coming into the cave, but he's a good dude, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check that out next Wednesday. And sooner or later, Uncle Cheech will be making his return. College football is here. I'm so excited. I just was thinking about it. We are 3 weeks away from probably one of the greatest weekends of the year, and the college football lineup. Miami, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Texas, and it would have been a good game. But Alabama, Florida State, probably not going to be much of a game. But there's just a great slate of games. You guys in Cupcakeville on the first week?
Cupcakeville.
Okay.
Alpine, Arkansas, Pine Bluff.
Okay, that's a tough one.
From the bluffs of the Pine. Yes. I think Tech should be probably I'm guessing about a third. I'm not going to lie. They're probably at least a 28-point favorite in that game. They probably open up as a 28-point favorite.
Now, do you start that weekend of the 31st, or you guys are next week? Because I think that real season starts next week, and these are all kind of like the.
I think they're the following week. I think our first game is in September. I want to say because our first, well, it is August 31st. They do play that weekend.
Do they? Okay.
They do play before they play before the Cowboys actual. Yeah.
My man DJ Williams, I thought I took a picture of it. I think if hopefully I'm saying it right, he's got these shirts. He played for the Miami National Championship team, and he does Dime Life. I don't know if any of you guys. It's mostly a lot of Miami stuff, but he does do other teams too. It's pretty good gear, and he has a shirt. Still the Convicts, I think it is something like that. So I might have to break that the game, but Catholics versus Convicts will always live in infamy. It'll always be Notre Dame and Miami plays. No matter what it is, it's always going to be the Catholics versus Convicts. And I'm really looking forward to that game. And I'm pumped to go get down to the Hard Rock and Notre Dame. So Notre Dame preseason, number 5. Miami came in at number 10. I saw Tech. I think Texas Tech was 24.
Yeah.
Texas, number 1. I mean, a lot of hype. A lot of hype with Texas, and they're playing Ohio State, who's ranked number 2 first weekend. So
yeah, I kind of wish that. I mean, I know it'll be a good matchup. It's 1 and 2, but I kind of wish Ohio State was ranked a little bit lower because I think they got a chance at upsetting Texas, and I'd love to see Texas lose to like a outside of the top 10 program. that'd be.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's an upset when Ohio State beats them.
No, I don't think it will be either. I think I've got Ohio State in that game, and it's not just. Well, I will say it's not just because I hate Texas. It is because I hate Texas. But I think Ohio State's got a good team. I think they got a really good team. So
I mean, that one receiver is like that freshman, and now would be a sophomore. It's unbelievable. And it's weird because usually you don't get these types of matchups.
Not week 1. Yeah.
Like there was a time I'll never forget, and I don't know the year, and I think I have the score to a T. Miami played Florida State to open the season back in the would have been 80s, and Florida State was ranked number 1. Miami was probably top 5 or whatever it was, and we beat them 31-0. So I'm hoping for like that kind of beating on Texas, and it's not because I hate Texas. It's because some of you Texas people have been talking trash to me. So that's what happened. You know, my grandpa used to tell me the whole race must suffer for the actions of a few. So all you Texas fans that I know Cuts is one of them. You got to pay the price because you got some meatheads coming after me and insulting my Hurricane. So that's what happens. So that's what it's going to be. But it's going to be a great time. So I know Kelly, you're on babysitting duty, so we won't take it too long. But before we leave, any final thoughts? You're coming back. Everyone can find you on Twitter again. I can't wait for the first tweet. I've got my alerts on so I don't miss it because I got to see what comes out of your mouth first thing in the morning because I know you've been chomping at the bit to get out there. But any final thoughts for the Cowboys Cave?
Well, I just want to say that everybody, let's enjoy some preseason football this weekend. Football is back, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And even if it is just some preseason action, it's still action. We're gonna be able to get to see guys out there on the field in live action, and get these guys' first actual real test and kind of see where they stand and stack up. And I'm loving it, man. So look, football's back, Smack Talk's back.
And who's betting? Who's David want to bet? What's he betting? What do we got? Bets? We're doing this again. What kind of bet do we have, Kelly? Is he trying to bet you or me? Who's he?
I don't know. I'm guessing I think he's a Texas fan. I think all these guys in here are Texas fans. I feel like we got a whole lot of Texas fans, which is pretty common. I mean,
I'll tell you right now, anybody want to bet straight up Ohio State, Texas, just give me a holler. You guys know where to find me. I'll bet any of you.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make the bet.
Right. Yeah. So if you guys have a bet, you guys let me know. How you doing, sweetie?
Yes, say hi.
Hi. Do we get to go Cowboys when we get out of here? What do we got?
Go Cowboys.
All right, you know it. That's what we're talking about. We are ready, and we're going to get the season started. So definitely appreciate it. Kelly, you have a great night.
Will do.
Enjoy the family. I'll be dropping mine off at the blink of an eye. Now, if that's my daughter, that's your granddaughter.
Quick.
But it probably, it's going to go just as fast. So definitely enjoy it, man.
Happens quick, man.
All righty. I'll see you guys.
Right,
Take care. Cowboys Nation.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.